Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world joining us for the JQ Edge, the Joy Intelligence Edge. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, this whole week, we're going to be talking about emotions and specific emotions. If you missed yesterday's show, you can go to YouTube and take a look at that. We talked about depression, and to be transparent, we talked about how I coped with depression. And again, not clinical depression, but depression that just grabs hold of you and slows you down. So today we're going to go after something I'm positive you can all relate to. And that is, what are you really hungry for? What are you really hungry for? So I've learned the hard way, you're not really hungry for food. You're hungry for what food gives you for that moment. And of course, we're talking about the emotions. So carbs and sugar and that combo pack. And yes, you're feeding your body something, but when you're eating for the purpose of not being hungry, but to fulfill another need, most likely emotional, you're just storing calories. So, what happens is with joy intelligence, you can feed yourself the real thing, fill an emotional hole, if you will. So, as we jump into the science, those of you that will be able to watch the video, I will share my screen. Please go to YouTube and take a look when you get a chance. But while you're listening, I think you'll get the point. But first, the science. Research on emotional eating shows that the majority of cravings are triggered not by physical hunger, by unmet emotional needs, stress, loneliness, boredom, overwhelm. And when your nervous system finds regulation of those emotions through another source, the craving loses its power. And that power is the chair of joy. That can be your source. So my story starts with, unfortunately, getting divorced. And at the time, I was on the road with a seminar company. And frankly, I absolutely love being in front of people, training, coaching, presenting. And I thought I had no issues post-divorce because I'm a PhD in psychology and I know how to regulate everything and I don't need any help from anybody. And I feel awesome and joyful all the time. Stress can't penetrate me. I'm rock solid. So, what did I reach for at the end of a long day with seminar attendees who may or may not wanted to bid there? And even though I had a great day of sales, I still felt angst. So I shoved that, why did I get divorced, and loneliness, and I'm not finding dates, and whatever other excuse I could find. And I thought, wow, you know what can be my best friend? When I drive to the next city, I had a good day. I'm going to reward myself. And who wouldn't want to do that? That is a normal human reaction. So let's talk about what people don't address and what sometimes we ignore. So I'm going to ask you something we don't talk about. What do you reach for at the end of a hard day? What do you reach for at the end of a hard day? Maybe it's a snack. Maybe it's the scroll. Maybe it's a glass of wine. And you might tell yourself you deserve it. And maybe you do. And those of you that are in great shape and really, really healthy can absolutely say, yes, I can have a drink and I can have a snack and I can scroll and I could go through things in the refrigerator because I do it once in a while. When you eat for emotion, something's left out. So the snack, what do you reach for? A glass of wine, the scroll, the late night indulgence. So what are you actually hungry for? And now I know it: safety, presence, and joy. I'm looking for safety, something that feels okay or better than okay. Instead of the scrolling through, I'm looking for connection and presence. Better presence equals better connection, and you feel less alone. The glass of wine, relief, take the edge off. But is it one glass or more? And are you drinking a glass with others or by yourself? And what are you telling yourself? And yes, one glass of wine is fine, but all alcohol is a natural depressant. The late night indulgence throws your whole body out of whack. Instead of that, now I can reach for joy. I can access it. It's the thing the day didn't give me. So before we move on with what the real hunger is, what's our purpose? My purpose today is not to shame any of you, not to make you feel guilty, just honest recognition. So with that, those of you that can look, um, take a quick look at, I will find it right here. And let's share. Are you ready? Real transformation. So when I was working for the seminar company, traveling by myself, I would reward myself. So the left-hand picture is me at the slim, taut weight of 380 pounds because I believed that I should reward myself. And I would go to my favorite low-cost Italian restaurant, good food, Olive Garden. And what would I do at Olive Garden? Well, at Olive Garden, I would have the unending bowl of pasta, but I would start with unending breadsticks and salad. I would wash that down with a glass of wine, and you cannot turn down a cannoli. And when you do that 3 to 4 days a week and not exercise, you balloon up. And so one of my colleagues said, if you're wondering why you're not selling training or getting coaching clients, it's hard for people to buy in that you're a leader and you've successfully done things at 380 pounds. And that's just the honest truth. So I learned through the hard way that I need to find a different path to feed myself good feelings, better feelings, happiness, joy, being more than okay. And so I reached out for safety, presence, and joy. Safety, I love being social. So I would call colleagues in the next city I was going to and make sure I had dinner with people. That made it easier for me to not overindulge. And then I did a whole bunch of transformational things, but 90% of that was emotional. So, what was I really hungry for? Connection, relationship, recognition. And so you can all tune into that. And I'd love for you to share your comments, or you can direct message me on LinkedIn if you don't want to share to the whole world. The question is, what are you really hungry for? And honestly, for me, I used food to fuel and feed my emotions. You can feed your emotions, get to joy, get to better performance, get to being your best consistently every day through JQ Edge, the Joy Intelligence Edge. And when you don't react to outside stressors and you show up with presence and connection, safety, presence, and joy, people gravitate towards you. It feels good. And it doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert. JOYELY and the JQ Edge will absolutely show you a path to not only emotional regulation, but to get in control of what you need. One, your emotion reactions to things, events, people, whatever it is. You don't have to stay stuck in angst, anxiety, depression, loneliness, whatever it is. So I reached out for food, and I'm here to tell you personally, chocolate may taste good, but it's not your best friend, and neither is pasta. And when you can name your real hunger, when you can say, I'm feeling like eating something because of whatever the feeling is, that's power. That's change. That's the first step in moving away from, frankly, emotional eating. So you can see from me on Zoom now, real physical and mental transformation. And you can do the same. So today, what am I reaching for? What's my purpose? I want to reach as many of you as I can, connect with many of you as I can to help you with where are you hungry emotionally rather than for food. So to feed the real hunger, let's go back to a habit that I would love for you to adopt over and over and over because it's the first step to not only emotional regulation, but emotional navigation. Remember, it's sharky out there. It's always twists and turns and moving side to side. So the chair of joy is the answer your body and your brain is looking for. Walk them through as if it's real food, not a shortcut. Shortcuts don't work. And the chair of joy is not a substitute for food. It's a direct response to what your body's asking for. So let's do it together. We're going to sit, breathe, think, and feel. When we sit, we give the body safety. When we breathe, we give the nervous system relief. Let me say that again. When you sit, you give the body safety. When you breathe, you give your nervous system relief. You reset. When you think, what do I actually need right now? The answer might be a breath. It might be water. It might be whatever. But here's the power. When you do the reset, your brain will give you the right answer. And then what's the feeling? Let joy arrive. That's what you're hungry for. So the next time cravings arrive, before you reach for anything, try this. Breathe a few short breaths. Just a few short breaths. That's your nervous system getting the relief it was looking for. The edge of cravings starts to go away. Think, what do I really need right now? Not the craving. Name the need. Maybe you need to call someone. Maybe you need to do some jumping jacks. Maybe you need to drink water. Your brain will tell you. And then the power. Feel the shift. Shift your feet. Let joy move through your body and your head. They're connected. This is the thing we're hungry for. It just arrived. Welcome it without a snack. This is not willpower. This is joy, intelligence, feeding the hunger and steering you to emotional regulation for you being in control and taking charge of you. And with proof, people notice before you say a word. They know they can see physical transformation. We are such a visual society, not a diet, but joy intelligence results can help you make a shift on your own. Yes, you can reach out for multiple ways of help. Your brain will tell you what will work best for you. But this is a discussion about what we know as experts, emotional mastery, navigation, regulation. It's you being in charge. It's you when stress hits, when someone ticks you off, when you're lonely, when whatever, you can say, I don't have to eat. I have other options. Sit, breathe, think, feel. So for me, the regulation that shifted the emotions is I don't need food for love. I can love me. Other people will like and love me. I just have to go out and find it. As the weight came off, I had more energy. The way I carried myself with the weight loss. When I would go out with friends, they say, what do you mean you're not having a drink and you're not having dessert? Said, I feel good about that. Feel great about that. Feel joy about that. I'm transforming. I'm not going back. And you can start to change those habits. And we're here to help you with the JQ Edge. So you walked in here with energy, passion, and desire. You're leaving with more of that. Thank you for joining us. Remember, this is the JQ Edge. We train it by living it. Let's get the edge. Contact me directly if you have questions on LinkedIn or Facebook. Thank you for your time today, and we'll see you tomorrow with another emotional revelation.